to Sensational Talk. I am Tony and Sandsational. Today, we have the #1 recruiting advisor in the country joining the show, Mr. Willie Lyles. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you bringing me on the show.
But before we get started, I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this interview with you.
Well, I appreciate you actually interviewing me, so it's a privilege and an honor.
Now let's get into this. Let's get into it because a lot of people have heard and have read things about Willie Lyles, and they're saying to themselves, what is a guy like Willie Lyles doing back in the recruiting industry? And to those people, what do you say?
Well, I would say it's a privilege to be back in this business. There's been a lot of things that have been said and that have been done that were untrue from previous employers and things of that nature. So I just wanted to get a chance to come out here and kind of set the record straight on who I am, what it is that I do, and how I do it.
Now you said there was things that have been said.
Yes.
What are some of the things that's been said?
Oh, there have been times where I've been called a street agent, things of that nature. A lot of derogatory comments made towards my direction. A lot of things that were said that were untrue in different areas. So, like I said, I really want to set the record straight on who it is, who I am, and what it is that I do, because being able to help young men is what I love to do. It's my passion. And like I said, I'm blessed and honored to be back in the industry that I love and respect so much.
Now you say you help young men. What do you do to help young men?
Well, with the recruiting service and being a recruiting advisor, what I do is I profile high school football talent, and what the other side of that is the educational aspect. Young men have to go through the NCAA clearinghouse, and a lot of times they don't understand the rules or the things that they have to do to be able to qualify to go to college and to accept that scholarship that they're signing for on signing day. And there's a lot that goes into it. So one of the things that I really focus on is that educational aspect.
Now people may ask themselves, what do a college or a kid need with an advisor for recruiting? Well,
on the side of the young man and the parent, and what I do for them is they're actually being recruited. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for them, and they don't get a chance to see this on a regular basis. What I do is I try to help them understand and educate them throughout this process on what goes on and the things that are going to make you successful and the pitfalls that you should avoid in trying to garner that scholarship. And on the university side of it with the coaching staffs is I create an entity where they don't have to spend as much time looking for recruits or trying to figure out what they need to do when they're on the ground in certain recruiting areas, because it's already planned out for them. They already know who to go after, what schools to go to, what coaches to go see. So it makes them save time and money.
What do you tell a parent when you go into a house and a parent is a first time dealing with this big entity of recruitment? What do you tell a parent some of the things that they need to look for in this process?
Well, one of the most important things, the first thing I ask for is a transcript.
Okay.
Because the transcript is going to tell me where that kid is, because what happens is they need a plan. If their grades aren't where you need them to be, or if they are where you need them to be, it also helps you understand what kind of school is going to try to recruit that young man. So what happens is you help them put that plan together so they can have an understanding going into their, whether they're sophomore, junior, or senior year, on the GPA that they need to have, on the classes they need to be taking, on the kind of things that their film needs to look like on the athletic side of it, so they can actually be recruited by a university. So those are some of the things that I touch on when I meet with these parents.
I'm going to ask you, people may ask also, what do a college need to do with a recruiting agent when they send their own recruiters to go out and find information on young men?
Well, a lot of times the universities are recruiting areas that they're unfamiliar with. Mm-hmm. So what they do is they use a scouting service to help them kind of figure out the lay of the land, who they need to recruit, what schools they need to go to, maybe what order of schools they need to go to, because schools are, in different areas. Mm-hmm. So you kind of just help them throughout that process to save time. And when they're in that city, they can maximize the time that they have there, because when you're on the road, you're not on the road for a long period of time.
Correct.
So you want to maximize the amount of time you have there. So that's one of the big factors in dealing with the scouting service. Like I said, it saves them time and it also saves them money.
Okay, Mr. Lyles, a guy with your knowledge, what made you decide to go into this industry?
Well, one of the things that I got a chance to see growing up, I was blessed enough to have both of my parents in my household. I have a great father, and that was there for me throughout, you know, all my years of life, and still to this day is still there for me. And I got a chance to see, while training kids and coaching them, that they didn't have those same opportunities. So I want to be able to be that person that they can lean on to if they needed any kind of help, or if they needed someone just to talk to, or just to lean on because they don't have that kind of structure at home. They had that individual, and that's one of the things that really got me into the scouting business, because I understood how to evaluate talent. I played the game of football, coached it, officiated. I did pretty much every aspect of the game of football. So just understanding the game and having a good football IQ and knowing what to look for was one part of it, but then the other part of it was that willingness and want to help young men to grow and become, you know, and to become, you know, good and productive citizens, you know. So
now, in the genesis of your recruiting career, where did that start?
That started, I started off training athletes and coaching them. So one of the big things for me was the schools. A lot of the kids that I was working with, they weren't getting as much opportunity as I thought they should get from the universities. So what I would do is I would put on combines for kids for free and call college coaches to come out and watch them perform. But that's back when universities could actually go out and watch combines and go to camps, and like the coaches could really come out there and be more involved. And then that evolved into me getting into scouting.
Okay, and then in your scouting career, did you start out with your own company, or did you start out under another company and then?
Yeah, I worked for a company previously that was based out of New York.
Okay.
And I worked for them for relatively about 7 years until that company went bankrupt, and then I came back and I started a company with another gentleman out of the state of Florida, which I later found out that I didn't help start that company. And you know, a lot of things were said that, you know, that weren't true. So what I did was I decided to go out and create my own company so I can do things the way I want to do them, and run my company in my opinion the right way.
Now, you say you started getting knowledge about this business that you was in.
Right.
And you decided, hey, I want to go out and start my own company, because I think that's anybody's dream that's in the industry that we're in.
Right.
You want to be your own boss.
Exactly.
Do you feel that became a threat to people?
I do. That I know for a fact that former employer basically, you know, said a lot of negative things about me to people that weren't true. So I knew there was a lot of backlash from that, because clients left that company and came with me. So I understood the kind of hate and the kind of disrespectful things that were being said about me in the background. So, but that still didn't deter me. I was still steadfast and strong in my beliefs and how I wanted to do things. So I still created that company so I could you know, be in the business.
Now, for young college coaches that was coming up in the ranks when possibly a lot of things were being said, what do you say to those guys if they reach out to your service? What type of guy are they going to get? Well,
they're going to get someone that's going to work hard for them. They're going to get someone that is going to, you know, that it's going to give them the profiles on the guys that'll be good for them, and they'll be good for their program. And that's one of the things that's very important. They want to get good quality people, because the way that the NCAA and the NFL are going, you have to have good character. That's one of the most important things now. You know, you got to be able to play ball, but but the most important things is you have to be not only a good athlete, but a good person, and you have to be a good student. You have to have all three of those facets within you to be able to play that game and elevate and get to the next level. So
Yeah, because I heard some coaches in the NFL, in light of the past couple of weeks of things that have been going on, they say they're even going to tighten their rings on how they look at athletes now with what's going on. Do you get a lot of coaches that may call you and say, hey, what's the character on this guy?
Oh yeah, all the time. That's one of the big things that a lot of college coaches want to find out, because they want to know the type of kid they're getting on their campus.
Okay.
And they want someone that doesn't have a biased opinion.
Okay.
So that's one of the major factors for them. They don't want to hear about, they want to hear about all the important things.
They want to make sure when they invest this kind of money in a kid,
they know what they're getting.
Their product.
Exactly.
Now you say you went out and started your own company. You've got reinstated by the NCAA.
Yes.
You've overcome that hurdle. What is the name of your company?
Oh, the name of my company is the Quest Scouting Service.
Quest? What made you come up with that name?
Because going through the recruitment process isn't just, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's a long, lengthy. So it's a quest. It's a quest for knowledge, quest for education, a quest for you to be able to go into that scholarship that you've always coveted so long. So that's why we call it the quest. And one of the things that we always like to say is join the quest, because that's what it is.
So if you want the best,
join the quest.
Thank you again, my brother.
Yes,
it's
indeed.
been my pleasure.
All right. Shameless plug. All right.